The Halacha Yomi, we're up to 379. Halacha number 9, Meraked, sifting. So Meraked is sifting impurities, where they used to sift the flour to get rid of the impurities. And this is similar to borer. This is another Melacha that's exactly like borer, but since it was a separate activity in the Mishkan, it gets its own status of Melacha. So usually what comes up is, for example, number 1, it's prohibited to sift flour from impurities with a sieve. A sieve is like a mesh to sift out impurities, and you're not allowed to sift flour on Shabbat. Number 2, there are several levels of mixtures in regards to this melacha when it comes to liquid. Let's say you want to filter a liquid on Shabbat, so it depends. There's something that's not potable, that's something that's not drinkable. That's one status. Then there's something that's most people drink, some people won't drink, because the finicky people they would want to filter it. And then there's liquids that are clear that almost everybody would drink. So the halacha is like this: A, filtering or straining something that's not drinkable, most people will not drink, is the biblical prohibition of Meraked. Let's say you take a drink, it's not drinkable, and you filter it, and now you made it drinkable. Otherwise, it wasn't drinkable. It's a surah in Shabbat. That's considered biblical melacha of Meraked. B, something that's slightly tainted would only be prohibited to filter midarabanan. Right, so therefore, a person that something that some people might drink, some people won't drink. That's a surah darabanan. Something that is basically clear, most people would drink, is mutar to be filtered on Shabbat, because anyways you would drink it. You didn't gain anything by filtering it. Now there is a leniency of filtering a drink that most people, maybe some people will drink, some people won't drink, by putting a cloth on top of the cup and drinking through the cloth. That is permitted in the case of midrabanan. But something that nobody would drink, it would be asur even to use a cloth. Let's say you have pulp. Let's say you have orange juice with pulp, and you don't like pulp, but you want to drink the orange juice. Number 3 is permitted to filter the juice from its pulp, since it's normal for people to drink orange juice with pulp in it. So it's considered something that most people would drink. What about a water filter? Number 4, most homes have a small water filter called an aerator. Turning on the tap water is not considered filtering, since this is the standard way of using the water from the tap, and the water that's coming out already, it went through many purification and filtration processes before coming out. Number 5, if one knows that his water has visible insects in it, it's prohibited to filter this water on Shabbat with a regular filter. Rather, you only can drink it with a cloth on top of the cup. 6, there are several types of water filter available on the market, known as mini bars or filtration taps, or the filtering system attached to the sink. Some people use a Brita filter on the tap, or they have a separate water jug with the filter on it, and that way when it pours the water, it filters. Such a filter is a debate in the poskim. It's proper on Shabbat not to use such filters. One who's lenient has what to rely on if you would have drank it even without the filter, right? If you go to a restaurant, when they give you tap, they give it straight from the tap. Would you drink such a water? So when you're at home, you can use the filter if you would have drank it straight anyways. But if you wouldn't have drank it tap, and you only because of the filter you drink it, so that's a surah darabanan. So therefore, a person has to be careful. Number 7, it is permitted to place a tea bag in a cup of water, kli shlishi, on Shabbat. It's not considered borer, even though the bag separates between the water and the tea leaves. Number 8, you're allowed to take out a tea bag from the cup of tea, even though picking up the tea bag will cause the leaves to be separated from the water. Although preferably the best thing to do would be to take out the tea bag with a spoon. That way you take out some tea with the tea bag. Even according to lenient opinion, you would be not allowed to squeeze the bag to get any of the juice out. You just remove it immediately. Some people have this chainik, or a kettle, or a tea pot that has small holes in it to filter so the leaves don't go through into the person's cup. It is permitted to use a tea kettle that has a filter on the spout, that since even if some small tea leaves go through the drink into the person's drink, a person would still drink it if there's some tea leaf floating in his cup. So therefore it's not considered that you filtered on Shabbat, because anyways I would drink it even without filtering, right? So therefore it's permitted. However, before pouring the kettle, one should try to wait for the leaves to settle to the bottom. 10, it is permitted to use the sink even though there's a filter on the drain, right? Because the food will get stuck and the liquid goes through the drain. That's more permitted because you're not actually doing the borer yourself. It's just happening by itself, and plus you don't care for the liquid. You're not even using the liquid. Filtering is when you're going to use the liquid. Okay, 11. It is permitted to put a coffee cone or a tea filter on top of a cup. add tea or coffee grinds, and then pour water directly on the tea or grinds. Even though the filter will then separate the coffee or tea from the grinds and the leaves. This is not considered borer since it happens by itself. So what happens? You take a cup, you put the filter, and you put some coffee on top, and you pour water through. So the water will make coffee, and it will go drip to the bottom, and the coffee grinds stay on top. Since it's happening by itself, it's mutar, and therefore it's not meraked. However, what is a problem is sometimes you have a thing called French press. French press, they have this kettle, they have this cup, this pitcher, and it has this sitki, this net that you can push down to hold back all the stuff, and then you pour. That should not be used on Shabbat. 12. A salad spinner. Drying salad with a spinner is a violation of borer with a utensil because you're separating the water from the salad, right? You push the thing on the top and it spins the lettuce to make the lettuce dry. So in order to wash lettuce on Shabbat, you can wash it while holding it in your hands, take them out of the water and leave them out to dry. Or you could put the leaves in a strainer, in a bowl strainer in the sink, turn on the water and don't touch the strainer at all. That would also be a case we permitted to to dry and wash these the lettuce. Okay, tomorrow we'll do the Melacha of kneading, of making dough on Shabbat, which is asur. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. Amen.